Hello and welcome back on my channel. Thank you so much for joining me again. If you're new here, hi, welcome. My name is Cece. There's a lot of things that you can find on my channel. I have music to read to. I'm reading short stories to you. I have a manga recommendation series where me as a manga newbie am reading books that are recommended to me, and you can follow along and see if these are good picks for a manga newbie. And potentially even if you're not a newbie, you can find some new picks. If you're not a newbie and you want to recommend me a manga, please do so. I would love it, especially with a video that I can include. But today we're here to talk about the vaLITines readathon and my prompts. I haven't done this in a hot minute, and we have 20 prompts to get through. Hello, editing Cece here. I was so eager to get through all these prompts in as little time as possible that I forgot to tell you about the readathon. The vaLITines is a month-long readathon along the month of February that is created by Chaptercade. I am talking in this video about a book that correlates with each and every prompt that is given, but you don't need to do all the prompts because it's actually a bingo board in the image here. So please check out the all the prompts and everything if you're considering to joining, because you can probably do it with your existing TBR, and if not, maybe you can shuffle it around a little to take part. So yeah, check out the resources, it's all in the description box. And now let's get back to the prompts. So I want to try and do this in one take. And so yeah, we have 20 prompts, so we better get through it. This is not my full TBR. Disclaimer, I'm trying to read a different book for each prompt, even though it's encouraged to double up on prompts, but I kind of wanted to find a different book for each prompt. And 20 books is not even my full TBR. My full TBR is, I think, 31 books, and I know that I'm not going to get through to all of them, but I'm going to try. My full TBR will be up tomorrow, but disclaimer, my TBR is video is a little bit different. I'm reading the first sentence of the book. I have somebody who collects them all from my TBR, so I don't know which book the first sentence belongs to, and I'm trying to predict the rating. But you can see the full TBR in the description box if you're curious. So, without more chit chat, let's get through the 20 prompts that we have and talk about the books that I want to read for them. Oh, and by the way, please do not mind my shitty fingernails and my shitty nail polish. I think I was looking for like half an hour for nail polish remover to make them look half decent, and I just gave up. So you're just gonna have to deal with that, so sorry. All right, so I will be reading from my cheat, so apologize for looking down a couple of times. All right, so the first prompt is Love Shack. Read a book with a building on the cover. This can be a picture or a word, and for this, I want to read The House on the Cerulean Sea. I don't know what the proper title is because I don't have the physical book with me. I'm probably going to read it on audiobook. If I don't get through it on audiobook, I'm going to get it on Kindle, but I don't have a physical copy here. The book has been, I feel like, everywhere on Book Twitter, on Bookstagram, on BookTube, so I'm not sure how much I need to talk about this. Basically, what I know about it is that it is a fantasy, even though I would not have guessed that from the cover, to be honest. And it has queer romance in it. And they are selling it as an enchanting story, masterfully told. The House in the Cerulean Sea is about the profound experience of discovering an unlikely family in an unexpected place and realizing that family is yours. I don't know if I would have picked it up just because of that, but everybody's raving about it. It has been part of a few book clubs that I wanted to read it with, but I didn't get to it because my TBR is too long. So I'm gonna try again this time. Okay, so the second prompt is Black Future Month. Read an Afrofuturism book. And for this, I have picked Wild Seed by Octavia E. Butler. And oh my gosh, I don't know why I keep wanting to say Olivia. It is so disrespectful of me to just wanting to keep calling her by the wrong name, and I don't know why. Octavia, Octavia, Octavia. Wild Seed is the first in the Pattern Master series. There's actually an Octavia E. Butler read-along happening. I'm going to be linking this and all the other read-alongs, readathons, whatever I'm going to mention. It's all in the description box. I'm trying to catch up on this. They already read this, was it in December or in January? Anyways, I'm trying to catch up. So I have to start the series so I can catch up, I think, next month. All I know about it is that it is classified as sci-fi fantasy, and I just love the covers. Like, this cover version is so pretty. I love it so much. This style is just beautiful. And the colors and everything. I love it. Okay, so what I know is that it is following two protagonists that have paranormal abilities. I think one is a shapeshifter and one is somebody who can use bodies as a host, and after they're done with the body, he kills them. And they pretty much have no fear of anything before they meet each other. As I said, this is the first in the Pattern Master series, so let's see what's to come. Let's put that over there. Can you stand there? Okay, so the next prompt is GOO GOO Eyes. Read a book with a beautiful cover or read a book with eyes on the cover. For this, I want to read Sky Hunter by Mary Lou. Sky Hunter, actually, I saw that on NetGalley and I was drawn to the cover, and this is why I'm picking it for this prompt. I was really disappointed to see that on NetGalley it was just an extended chapter sample. So I kind of took a step back again, but then it came up in a different thing that I do this month. I have this Goodreads group, and I take part in Pick Me a Winner, and the person who picked books for me picked this one, and I was like, okay, so let's just buy this and get to it, even though I was super disappointed because NetGalley promised me the book but only gave me the chapter sample. I'm good with chapter samples, by the way, if they are marketed as that and I know that that's what I'm getting. But if I'm getting a chapter sample and I think I'm getting the whole book, I'm just disappointed. Okay, so what I know about Sky Hunter is that it is sci-fi. We have like this big war going on, epic. We have mutant beasts, aliens, an elite fighting force, and they're calling it an adrenaline-laced novel about the lengths one warrior will go to fight for freedom and those she loves. Sounds good. Next, words of affirmation, read a book blurbed by a favorite author, and for this I am going to be reading An Absolutely Remarkable Thing by Hank Green. The blurb, I actually really had to look for blurbs that for the books that I already had on my January TBR, because I, smart as I am, picked my January TBR first with all the prompts and stuff that I do usually to pick my TBR. By the way, if you want to know more about that, tell me in the comments down below if I should be making a video on how I do my TBR. It's not a game, it's more of a readathon prompts kind of setup and book clubs, etc. So it's not a game you can follow along, but I'm happy to make a video about it. All right, this one has been blurbed by Patrick Rothfuss, and I enjoyed The Name of the Wind a lot, so I let that count. Also, this book is part of the traveling book club that we have in Germany. 3 people have already read this before me. Everybody in this book club reads this book, takes a different colored pen and puts their comments in, like you can see here, and they then just pass it on to the next person, and these books can become like these really colorful conversations between people. And once you even get to start to know the people that you're talking to, that you read the comments from, it's just a wonderful thing. An Absolutely Remarkable Thing, as far as I know, is about this girl. I think she's 23. I don't know why I know these random facts. And she is, there's like this giant sculpture suddenly appearing, and she's making a video of it, uploading it to YouTube. The video goes viral, and they suddenly understand that, hey, these giant sculptures have appeared in like dozens of other cities as well. Now she has to deal with the consequences of that kind of fame and balancing that with safety and her family, etc. So I think that's a super interesting prompt, and I know that this book has been everywhere on BookTube, Bookstagram, and BookTwitter. What was it, like a year ago? And I finally am getting around to reading it. Hopefully, if I get through the whole TBR. And next, love language. Read a translated work. For this, I am reading. Actually, I have the wrong one here. Let me just grab the right one. And that is the second book in the Becky Chambers. I think is it called the Wayfarers series. This book is actually called A Closed and Common Orbit, and it is translated. I'm holding a translated copy in my hand, translated into German. Living in Germany, access to books, English books, is limited. This was available in the library. We have curbside pickup from the library, and I love it. And I was able to get it in German, so it counts. I actually think that both the English and the German cover are quite beautiful. And the book is marketed as follow a motley crew on an exciting journey through space and an adventurous young explorer who discovers the meaning of family in the far reaches of the universe in this light-hearted debut space opera from a rising sci-fi star. So this is the information we get for the first in the installment. I don't know anything about the second one, and I don't want to read the synopsis before I have read the first one, because the first one is on my TBR for this month as well. So let's see. Oh, and this is me catching up in a book club as well. I want to read more sci-fi because I'm in the mood for sci-fi, and I've joined the Interstellar book club, and they are reading this series, and I need to catch up. So I'm reading 2 of these books this month. Next, we have Skip a Beat. Skip the synopsis and start a book knowing very little about it. For this, I will be reading 2 short stories that are found in the Arcanum Unbounded. All I know from these 2 short stories is that they play in the Cosmere. That's all I know. And I think that qualifies for this prompt. I'm a big Brandon Sanderson fan. I love everything that I've read so far. I've read 1 in the Mistborn series. I've read 2 in the Stormlight Archive. I've read Warbreaker. And I think that's it. Yeah, but everything I have loved so far. Oh, well, the Skyward and what's the name of the second? I don't know, but you know what I mean. I love them, and I'm pretty sure that I'm going to love these short stories as well, but I know nothing about it. I also read these 2 short stories as part of the Crab-Along, where we're pretty much reading all of the Sanderson Cosmere this year. And yeah, if you're trying to read Cosmere stuff this year, you should just totally join. It doesn't matter how far you're into it, because you're going to catch up. And the community there seems to be really amazing. We're on a Discord channel, and well, I can't keep up with all the conversations, but yeah, you should totally join. Okay, next we have Quality Time. Read a book that looks like it might take a while. And for this, I'm going to be reading The Dragon Republic. This also is a traveling book. I think this one only has 1 person who has read it before me, so not as many comments. Yeah, 1 person, but there are comments in here. And well, I loved the first book. I think this is marrying fantasy with 20th century Chinese historical fiction, opium wars, poppy wars, etc. married in there. I was really positively surprised by the first one, because it became much more grueling, wartime, heavy topics, very graphic when it comes to war representation, and it was hitting hard at some times where I needed to slow down because it was so intense in my mind and probably needs some trigger warnings. So I'm not worried about trigger warnings. If you are, look them up before you dive into this series. I know nothing about the second in the series, so I'm jumping in blind because I enjoyed the first one. I don't need to know anything about the second one. But I think marrying the Poppy Wars, the Opium Wars, and fantasy, if that hopefully sells it already to you. If not, watch my wrap-ups. And I'm trying to find a way to make the wrap-ups more searchable because I need to go sometimes back to my wrap-ups as well. So I'm starting to get to the point where I'm like, oh, where is the wrap-up for this book? And I go by, okay, when did I read it and what's the vlog? Because last year my wrap-ups were all in the vlogs. And then before that I had recent reads and I had all these different kinds of wrap-ups, and I still have a few film wrap-ups from like 2 years ago that I haven't uploaded, so I'm trying to make them more searchable somehow, but I haven't come up with a perfect idea yet. All right, the next one is gifts. Read a book that was given to you as a gift. And for this, I'm going to consider an arc, because an arc is a gift of a sort, I believe. And I'm not the type of person who gets a lot of gifts, but an arc is a gift, right? Color brands I received on NetGalley, and I do not know why, but I am really feeling this February that I want to read some romance. I know, who even am I? But yeah, if you've been on my channel for a while, you know that I don't like romance and that I find romance usually very eye-roll worthy in books. I enjoy if it's written well, but I usually don't enjoy when it carries the story. And now I'm picking a pure historical romance in the American West. I don't know why, but I'm feeling it this month. And I really need to read it right away because I have a feeling that if I don't read this NetGalley arc this month, my mood for this will be gone. So this needs to be done. Okay. The next one, opposites attract. Read a book in a genre or format that's different for you. For this, I'm going to be reading Firefly Junction, which is a cozy murder mystery. And I haven't read a cozy murder mystery in like ever, maybe like 20 years ago. But yeah, never got into it. But I am really feeling it this February, similar to the I'm suddenly feeling romance. But that just happens, I guess. And this one is also a buddy read. I specifically sought out a buddy read because this book is becoming part of a new series that I'm planning for probably March. So you can be excited about that. But yeah, so Firefly Junction, I think it's actually called Death in the Park, and Firefly Junction is the series. It's a cozy murder mystery where this woman goes back into her hometown. I think it's her hometown. Anyways, her family lives there. Small town, kind of a Hallmark movie set up. This successful reporter goes back into the town, renovate an inn that is almost falling apart, and she needs to finance it by working this small town journalist job. And yeah, I'm excited about this. Next we have My Sunshine. Read a book that seems light-hearted. And for this I'm going to be reading The Secret Diary of an Arranged Marriage. This is pitched to me as Bengali Bridget Jones vibes, and that just sounds fabulous. And this is also for my new series, and I'm buddy reading that with somebody, and it's gonna be awesome. Next, we have Long Distance. Read a book that takes place in or draws from the culture of a different country than your own. And for this, I'm going to be reading The Living is Easy. The Living is Easy also is this month's read from the Spilling Tea Book Club. The meeting for the Spilling Tea Book Club is on February 13th, so it's quite early in the month. So if you want to join that, you need to read this soon. This one is pitched as a delightfully wry and ironic humor, even bitchiness of the novel coexists with a challenging moral and social complexity. And I'm like, yes, please. Yes, effing please. This sounds perfect. The next prompt is it's head over heels. Almost skipped. Read a book by an author whose first name is longer than their last name. For this one, I'm going to be reading Crimson Tempest, which again is one more book. Will you just stand up, please? So this one also is for the new series that I'm planning on my channel. I sadly have not found somebody to buddy read it with me, but it will be okay. Crimson Tempest is a sci-fi, I think this is like sci-fi epic adventure series. The idea is we have this like huge war, we have a human race where technology is terrifyingly fast developing, and we suddenly have an old warship that has been lost for what, like 53 years, and they're suddenly sending out a distress signal, and we're following the captain and his crew who are asked to recover this ship. I'm liking it. Next we have touch. Read a book with an interesting texture, or read a book that you believe will be touching. I have no book that I've considered with an interesting texture this month, so I will be reading Concrete Rose for this. I have not yet read The Hate You Give, even though this has been on my want to read list for quite some time. I really hope that I don't need to read it first. If you've read The Hate You Give and potentially are reading Concrete Rose this month, please let me know if I'm making a mistake. Anyways, it's a prequel to The Hate You Give, and I don't think I need to know more to wanting to read this book. Next, I'm reading Not Hungry. For long-term relationship, read a book that has been on your TBR for a long time. Not Hungry is a NetGalley arc that is one of the oldest NetGalley arcs, so that I still haven't read. And the reason for it is that I want to read it, but I'm also scared of being triggered. But I think that I am right now in a very, very good place mentally to read it, so I'm attempting it. I was really happy when I got it accepted for this arc, but as I said, I always was like, is this gonna trigger me? Because this book, from what the description says, sounds like part of it could be me. I'm just going to read to you the information about this book, because I don't think that I can summarize what it's about in my own words. June is fat. June also has an eating disorder, but no one sees. When she doesn't eat, her friends and family think they see a fat girl on a diet, not someone starving herself. When June's secret is found out by Toby, the new boy next door, she is panicked. Then she learns he also has a secret. Everyone has their own little lies. So I'm obviously not talking about the last part that is probably going to create a plot for this book. I'm talking about the first part. I have gotten to terms with and understood over the past 2 years that I was bordering on an atypical anorexia. And that has been very hard journey for me to understand and admit, because I was just always the fat person who was continuously gaining weight. But all the mental stuff, all the mental eating disorder that I was developing was very much the same thought pattern that an anorexic person has. And this is a double hard, because you're being encouraged in your disorder constantly, every day. Everybody around you is a nutrition expert when you're fat and tells you how to lose weight. And when your doctors are pretty much telling you that you need to lose weight and you're already starving yourself, your thought patterns go very much into, okay, I need to do more. I am not starving myself enough. So nobody is trying to prevent you from being harmful to your own body. Everybody's encouraging you to continue with your own journey. And then when you're even actually still gaining weight and medically you need to stop gaining weight, you're getting into this paradox situation where just imagine an alcoholic being told by the doctor that they need to learn how to be drunk. Yeah, just gonna let that sit there. So, yeah, I really want to get to this book, but I was afraid of it, and so I pushed it and pushed it, but I am strong enough now and I'm in a good place now mentally to actually tackle this, and I'm looking forward to this, and I hope that it's not butchering this topic. Next, sharing is caring. Read a book based on a prompt for another readathon. I'm not participating in another readathon recently or in the near future, probably. I don't know why this readathon stood out to me, but it did. And so for this one, I'm going to be picking a book that I'm reading for another book club by a booktuber, because I somehow think that this fits. Change my mind on this. Go try. I'm reading for this one When No One's Watching, which is a gentrification of Brooklyn takes on a new sinister meaning. And this is for the Literally Dead book club run by Books in Lala. Next, love song. Read a book that reminds you of a favorite song. First, I had Eternal on there, which kind of reminds me of Eternal Flame, which I'm also reading for the new series. But actually, I am just taking this literally. This doesn't remind me of a love song. This is a love song. And I'm reading this because it's the Once Upon a Book Club pick. So I have gifts here to open up along with it. Oh, and actually this could go for the interesting touch because this has a very waxy feel. Ooh, I didn't even notice, but I like it. So if it ends up that I don't get the other book read, this could double up. Yeah. Do I know anything about this? Nope, I don't know anything about this because it's the book club pick and I'm just gonna read it because there's gifts that go along with it. I'm actually not sure if I'm gonna like it, so I'm just gonna... Let's see. Next, acts of service. Read a book that involves a quest of some sort. For this, I'm going to be reading Eve of Man. I'm buddy reading this with Ilva, and I'm so looking forward to buddy reading this. This is a dystopia where the main character has to choose between love and future of the human race. So I believe that is a form of a quest to find which choice she makes. Eve is the first girl that has been born in, I believe, 50 years. I could be wrong, but yeah, so she pretty much is destined to repopulate the humankind, I believe. That's just what I think this is because of she's the first girl and she needs to decide between love and the future of mankind. I'm assuming she's meant to repopulate Earth, and yeah, she has been okay with her fate until she meets this love interest, and yeah, I'm really interested in how this goes. This could go either really good or really bad. Okay, next we have A Dream Come True, and for this I will be reading 5 Love Languages, which is for the Curl Up Book Club, which you can find on Instagram. And for read a book that reminds you of a dream you've had is the prompt Dream Come True. I've picked 5 love languages because I sometimes dream about love. Because nothing else made sense to me, because I don't have any dream that I could relate to a book or something that I would want to relate to a book. But I sometimes in my dreams, yes, something about love happens somehow. So I believe that counts. I don't know how I'm going to be feeling about this book, but I'm going to be open-minded, and yeah, it's like a self-help book about love and how to make relationships last. I feel indifferent about it, but I'm gonna give it a chance. Next we have Commitment Issues, Continue or Start a Series, and for this I'm going to be reading the second one in Octavia E. Butler's Pattern Master series, Mind of My Mind. I know nothing about this book and I didn't want to read the synopsis out of fear that it might give away anything from the first book. Potentially it doesn't. It might be like the it might be a series where we have completely different angles and completely different people that we're following around, but I didn't want to get spoiled. So yeah, again, beautiful cover. And the last prompt for which we are going to be reading a book is First Date, read a new to you author. And for this, I'm going to read the first book in the Becky Chambers, A Long and Lonely Way to Another Planet or something. This is also a translated work, so I don't know what the... So it's not one take because my camera stopped recording and I hope I just noticed it quick enough. I'm trying to not look into the viewfinder, but to notice my camera stop recording, I need to check it sometimes. And yeah, so I think it's... the original name is A Long Way to an something planet... Small and Angry Planet. A Long Way to a Small and Angry Planet. I think so, but yeah, I'll probably put it somewhere because, well, you probably even know the title. But I look at the translation and it messes with my head. So anyways, I already told you about the series and this is the first installment. I'm really looking forward to this. I'm reading it as part of the Interstellar Book Club. So that is that. Those are the 20 prompts that I'm going to be reading. Hopefully, wish me luck in February. There's also a few action challenges, which are quite easy. Tell a bookish creator how you feel about their work. Share or promote a bookish creator that you enjoy. Use the hashtag vaLITines on social media. Read a book in a bubble bath. And I think the first 3 I'm going to whip out probably with the same post or something. And then the last night is plan an evening dedicated to reading. And for this, I'm not going to plan an evening. I'm just going to tell you about the live shows happening that are already planned for this month. And this Sunday morning, we're going to have live reading sprints on Jonatation's channel. I'm going to link to her Twitter down below and her channel. Check her Twitter for details on this Sunday morning live reading sprints. They're going to be happening 10 a.m. UK time, so it's quite early in the morning for some people like me. 9 a.m. is early for me, but it's even earlier if you're in the US. And then we're going to have on the 15th live reading sprints on Completely Melanie's channel. They are going to start at 9 p.m. Is it CET? I don't know my time zones, but like Europe time 9 p.m. and I think 3 p.m. East Coast, I believe, EST. And then again, with the same time, we're going to have on the last day of the month, on the 28th, on my... And now the battery died. And we already have 3 takes that I'm cutting together. But yeah, and I was just saying goodbye. But before you leave, yeah, I'm hoping that you will join us for these 3 live reading sprints this Sunday on the 15th and on the 28th. I hope to see you at least in one of these. And this is my dedicated time reading with friends. I'm potentially having some more reading sessions with friends that are offline, but join us for the online ones. And if you don't have a plan to whip out your challenge for this one, join us on one of these live reading sprints and you can count it too. As easy as that. Okay, so I think this is it. This video is long, but it's also 20 books that I talked about, so you're gonna have to deal with it. Let me know how you're liking my setup here. I'm really trying really hard to improve my filming setup, so any comments on that would be appreciated. And yeah, I hope that you enjoyed this TBR. I hope that you potentially got a few book picks that were new to you. If you've read any of these books, let me know about how you like them. Spark my interest or warn me to go in with lower expectations. I always like to hear that other people have read the books that I'm reading. And you totally should check out my TBR that's coming out tomorrow, where I judge the book by its first sentence, and then I will have all 31. Can I do this in 30 minutes? I don't know. We're gonna try. All right, I'll see you again real soon on my channel, I hope. And until the next video, hit that subscribe button, that like button, and please comment on my videos. I love your comments and I appreciate them so much. My heart always like opens up so much when I see a comment of yours, and I get all giddy and I like, hey, somebody commented. And then if I recognize somebody, I'm like, oh, it's this person or it's this person. And yeah, it makes my day. So please go and comment and make my day. All right, I hope to see you again on my channel real soon. Until then, bye.
Just loving this moment. Can we stay here forever?